Hey everybody, I'm back again for another demo. This time I went a little crazy with the Eric Johnson thing. Past few months I've just been kind of selling off some stuff and trading some stuff to get the exact gear right. But let's run through the signal path real quick just to kind of show you how it all works. The guitar input comes into this first AB box. I label the L and the R lead and rhythm, and then from the rhythm side it goes into this rhythm switcher, which chooses between clean rhythm, which is going to be a pair of twin reverbs, and then the dirty rhythm, which is going to be a 50-watt Marshall. So from the bottom input it goes into this one, and then from the top input, which goes to the lead, it just runs over around and touches the this Crybaby Classic, which is a really cool wah. It has a the Italian phasal inductor or whatever. It just gives a real old classic tone. I kind of like this one better than my old Vox wah I used to own. From this side it runs into the delay. Now typically I usually have a Echoplex, but they're misbehaving and I got to send them to get repaired. They're not working right. This one here has the repeats they don't sound as clear and clean as they should, and this one just needs a few parts replaced. It's a little wobbly sounding. But I use this cool a cheap Ibanez Echo. I had it modded for true bypass, and it sounds really good. The analog setting on it does a very decent job of like a tape kind of sound, so I really like this when my Echoplexes aren't working right. And from that pedal it runs into the tube driver. Now the tube driver, really doesn't do what a lot of people think it does. It's not as big a part of the sound as I even originally thought it was. It just rolls a little high end off, maybe cuts just a tad of volume and adds just a bit of gain, but most of the lead sound is just that Marshall cranked up to 10. And then from the output of that, it just runs into a Y chord into the 100-watt Marshall up there. It is set like this. Both controls are completely dimed, and the EQ is set something like that. You can play around with the bass. That to me is the most sensitive knob. You don't want it too tubby sounding where like the low end's just killing everything, but without it, it doesn't sound as big. The 50-watt kind of can take it over, so I kind of keep the bass up a little bit more. So that's the lead signal. So let's go to the rhythm signal. From the rhythm, the clean rhythm, it runs straight into this Memory Man Echo, and I can't recommend these highly enough. They just sound incredible. I stupidly sold one years ago, and they're the best sounding analog delay I've ever heard. So they're really great. Now it would go into the second Echoplex had it be working properly. Actually, it sounds really great without it. So I mean, for like just grabbing the port and going, I really don't need to lug the other Echoplex. But when that one works, I will be running it to the Echoplex, and from the Echoplex it would come back and hit the TC stereo chorus and then out to the two twin reverbs. The one on the right is a like 66 or 67 twin. The one on the left is like a 74 or something like that. So really great amps. They sound great in stereo, and I love them to death. They're really great sounding. And then the dirty rhythm path goes to the fuzz face first, because most people know the fuzz, they like to be first in line. From there it goes back all the way across to this Loopmaster bypass pedal. If I want, I can put a tube screamer in line. It's always on, but if I don't want it in, which most of the time I don't, I just leave it bypassed, and it doesn't, the buffer in it doesn't mess with the tone or the fuzz or anything. It just stays real pure sounding. I like the tube screamer, especially with Gibson guitar, so you can get kind of a different kind of lead sound, or just thicken it up for like a really straight ahead, rocking Marshall Les Paul tone. And then from here It just goes into this little Boss delay. I know Eric uses a MXR 1500, but I really don't want to deal with the rack, so I just, you know, just a nice clean sounding digital delay works really great. And from there it just runs into the back into my 50 watt Marshall. This is like a 73 or 74 Marshall. It sounds really great. I know Eric doesn't use a Y cord, but I use a Y cord on this one because the 70s Marshalls are a little brighter, a little bit more aggressive, so I blend a little bit of that bass channel in, and it kind of gets that old school, like early 60s or late 60s kind of Marshall sound, just a little bit warmer, a little less gainy, and I really love that head a lot. It's really great. Between the I couldn't choose between the 150, but the 50 just sounds really great. So thanks for checking out the rundown of the signal path. I'm going to put a video up with less talking just to kind of run through the different sounds. So thank you for watching.